topic number 3 is, should we defend humanity when no one shows us being black folks, Africans, when no one shows us humanity? This came with a link. Let me share it with you guys. We will watch it and then we will discuss. This guy's videos are popular on Shoot the Breeze. This is a Nefa Kare video as well.
We back. Now, let me find out that Dr. Umar Johnson is subscribed to the channel. Let me find out that Dr. Umar Johnson is subscribed to the channel. Now, Dr. Umar Johnson has heard some of the criticism that he received because a few days ago I dropped a video entitled Dr. Umar Johnson speaks on the Israel-Palestine conflict. And I was speaking on the statement that Dr. Umar Johnson had put out regarding the entire, situation in the Middle East, right? And Umar basically said, listen, we got enough of our own issues, man. Y'all so passionate. Y'all riding for the Arabs, but you ain't even riding for your own people with the same energy and passion. And he was talking to the black community, right? And as you already know, on that subject right there, I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson 100%. And I'm assuming that Dr. Umar Johnson had seen some of the backlash that he received on social media, right? Because as you already know, a lot of folks want to hold hands with the Arabs, so they took offense to what Dr. Umar Johnson had said. They were like, how dare you not stand with the Arabs? How dare you not stand with our Arab brothers, our Arab family members, our Arab cousins in the Middle East? And Dr. Umar Johnson had said, man, get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that. So I'm going to play a clip from what Dr. Umar Johnson had said, responding to the haters. You know what I'm saying? Responding to the haters. And I'm going to come back with my commentary. Let's get into it. Run the footage.
First of all y'all who got a problem with me because I said I'm focused on black people's problems, well, guess what? You could stay mad. I'm focused on black people's problems. Last time I checked, I was the creator of Unapologetically African. That's my concept. That's my movement that y'all done ran with, talking about you unapologetically African, but you afraid to say that you worried about your people's problems. Ain't nobody helping us. You got 27 million Africans in the Congo, displaced, environmental issues, hunger, poor health care. You got 1 million Ethiopians who've been murdered. You got Sudanese who have died. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Sudanese. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Ethiopians. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Congolese. But you want me to cry tears for the Arabs? No violence. But if you think I'm going to take time out of struggling for African people, if you think I'm going to stop my agenda to liberate my people to go cry for people who don't cry for me, if you think I'm going to stop what I'm doing and pay attention to what's going on over there when y'all don't even pay attention to what's going on in Africa, y'all don't pay attention to what's going on in Ethiopia, y'all don't pay attention to what's going on in the Congo. The greatest humanitarian crisis in the world is in the Congo, not the West Bank. I said the greatest humanitarian crisis in the world is in the Congo, not the West Bank, not the Gaza Strip, not Israel, but in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So don't tell me I got to cry for whites and browns. I'm crying for black people, and I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who don't like it. The mother continent, I'm focusing on my people. This is Pan-Africanism or perish. You understand me? This is unify or die. They don't care about us. You got black people in Palestine facing racism. You better go do your research. What about our African brothers and sisters in Palestine who are suffering racism at the hands of the Palestinian Arabs? Y'all ain't said nothing about that. Oh, no. Oh, no. You come to the wrong place for that. And see what we fail to realize as African people. What we fail to realize as African people is when you start paying attention to other people's struggle, you give the whole world permission to ignore your problems. When you start worrying about other people's problems, you give the whole world permission to ignore your problems. I said, when you start worrying about other people's problems, you give the world permission to ignore your problems. I don't see Jews taking attention off their problems for black people. I don't see Arabs taking attention off their problems for black people. I don't see Latinos taking attention off their problems for black people. I don't see Asians taking attention off their problems for black people. I don't see East Indians taking attention off their people for blacks. All the black people sold into slavery by the Arab nations. Has Palestine spoke out against that? Has Palestine spoke out against all the Africans in Africa, East Africa, being sold into slavery by the Arabs? I ain't heard no Palestinian say nothing about the Arab slave trade against African people. Get out of my face with that. You come to the wrong place. You come to the wrong place.
Here we back. Now, take a look up on the screen. I seen this tweet from this brother that I think really summarizes my thoughts on the situation. He said this: Africans have historically been tormented by two major people, the European and the Arab. They have competed to harm, enslave, and conquer Africa still to this day. While what's happening to Palestinians is unfortunate, so is the plight of Africans in Mauritania, Sudan, Libya, and the Arab world in general. And you can also throw Tunisia in there, because if you've been following the events in the past few months or the past year, then you know it was very hectic for our family in Tunisia. You know, the Arabs in Tunisia had our brothers and sisters and our women and our children running out of Tunisia for their lives, for real. So I know y'all don't care about that, because you didn't make no noise for that. You didn't make any noise for that when it was happening. But now you want to tap, dance, and twerk and bust it open on a pole for the Arab. But anyways, let's talk about what happened to the family in Tunisia. Take a look up on the screen. Anti-black racism surfaces in an African country. Critics are blaming the president for it. And as you can see, this y'all Arab brother on the screen, you know, your black and brown brother. This your brother right here. You know, the president of Tunisia. That's your brother. That's your brother, not my brother, but it's your brother. Your brown brother. Not my brother, not my family, but your brother. Anyway, let's continue. A viral video from late February showed a man decrying the incompatibility of black African values with those of the Tunisians. Asked by the interviewer if he had ever met any Africans, he replied by saying that he knows them well because my grandfather used to buy and sell them. Late last month, Tunisia's authoritarian President Said, borrowed yet another page from the global neo-fascist playbook and engaged in anti-black racism to unleash a reign of terror. At a February meeting of the National Security Council, he described undocumented black African immigrants as hordes, bringing violence and crime to Tunisia. He then went on to embrace the white supremacist Great Replacement conspiracy theory and alleged that immigration from sub-Saharan African countries is aimed at changing Tunisia's demographic composition. The undeclared goal of the waves of illegal immigration is to consider Tunisia a purely African country that has no affiliation to the Arab and Islamic nations, President Said said. Now, time out. The president of Tunisia, which is in Africa, right? It's not in the Middle East, it's in Africa, right? But he's an Arab, keep in mind. So he said that the fact that Tunisia serves as a transit point for Africans to get into Europe, he said that is going to change the demographics of the nation. And he is upset about that because he doesn't want Tunisia to be separated from the Arab and Islamic world. He doesn't want Tunisia to be attached to the African world. And everything he said serves as confirmation to everything I've been saying, because, like I said, you trying to stand in solidarity with the Arab, but the Arab openly proclaims to the world that he does not even want to be associated with you, even on the African continent. So imagine how the Arabs in the Middle East feel, in the homeland. Imagine how they feel in the Middle East if the Arabs in Africa don't even want to mess with you, man. Now, let's continue. The president's blatantly racist comments triggered a wave of violence and abuse against thousands of black Africans who reside, study, and work in Tunisia, as well as black Tunisian citizens who make up 10% of the population, bro. 10%. So just a few months ago, the Arabs in Tunisia was putting foot to ass, making us leave the country, running for our lives, and y'all didn't say a word, man. But now all of a sudden we got to stand in solidarity with the Arabs in the West Bank. We got to stand in solidarity with the Arabs on the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the Arabs in the African continent, they feel more of a close connection to the Arabs in the Middle East than they do to other Africans on the African continent, even though they're on the African continent. Tunisia is an African country based on the geographical location, but culturally, in terms of mentality, in terms of the cultural values, they don't see themselves as anything similar to the black man. They see the black man as beneath them. They see the black man as beneath them. They see the black man, they don't want to be associated with the black man, even if they're on the African continent. But for whatever reason, I see so many of y'all are so passionate about the situation happening to the Palestinians. But the same passion is not there for your own folks, man. Your own folks don't get that same energy. They don't get the same clout. There's what it is, though. Let's continue. Many of the estimated 21,000 sub-Saharan African immigrants in Tunisia lost their jobs and housing overnight. Hundreds have been arbitrarily arrested and placed in detention centers. Black people, including those with Tunisian citizenship, said they started facing racial abuse on the streets, fearing for their lives. Dozens of immigrants from sub-Saharan African countries started camping outside the International Organization for Migration headquarters in Tunis, while others tried to protect themselves by seeking refuge in the embassies of their home countries. Bro, they had our people running for their lives, bro, camping outside the embassy so they don't get killed, bro. And let me ask you this. When this was happening, less than a year ago, literally this year, where the fuck was the Palestinian Arab at? The Palestinian Arab. Y'all coming into my comment section talking about the Palestinian been standing with us. He been rocking with us. That's our brother right there. That's the homie right there. Where the fuck was the Palestinian Arab when the Tunisian Arab was putting foot to ass? When it was putting foot to ass. I seen videos of black women talking about, man, I gotta leave now. I don't even know where I'm going, but I gotta leave. Where the fuck was the Arab then? Where the fuck was the Palestinian then? Where the fuck was your Palestinian homies at then? Where the fuck was they at? They were nowhere to be found. And you would think, since the Palestinian is our homie, as some of y'all claim that he is, how come he never wanted to play the role of mediator between himself and his other Arab brothers when they do us harm? If that's our homie like that, if that's our friend, if that's our ally, how come he's never there to play mediator or serve as a negotiator when his other Arab brothers start getting out of bounds and getting out of pocket? How come he never stand in solidarity with you? Huh? How come? Ask yourself that question, bro. What is so significant about the Arab that you want to ally with him? What does he offer? Like, what is so amazing about the Arab? Like, what does he offer us as black men? Like I always say, nations are not in the business of doing charity. They're in the business of protecting their interests. So what interest do we have with the Arab? What interest do we share with the Arab? We share none. And it's not me saying it. The Arab himself, he'll tell you that. The Arab himself will tell you, I have nothing in common with the black man. The black man is beneath me. The black man is destined to be a slave. And his woman is destined to be a concubine. The Arab himself will tell you that to your face. But anyways, man, I don't want to make this video too long. It's your boy Neferkari, that's Salim, back in the building. Yes, indeed. Cash App up on the screen. And I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came.
That's Neferkari once again. Y'all invite that brother to the show. All the videos I be showing to him, y'all invite him to come. Same thing with Camjiverse too. Make sure those guys come through. Should be topic number 3 says, should we defend humanity when no one shows us humanity? Let me start with Black Steel, who's been chomping at the bit to talk about this one. What say you?
So yeah, I don't like this dude. I really don't. He's so ahistorical. First of all, number one, I understand Arabs are the Palestinians and the rest of the Arab world. You're really conflating the issues that we have with Arabs in North Africa, which are true with the Palestinian people who have been under sustained genocide since 1948. Like, how could you ask, excuse me, why haven't the Palestinians said anything? First of all, the Palestinians have said something about the African struggle. They have been probably some of the most supportive people for African struggle. Nelson Mandela and Yasser Arafat were good friends, for example. Every serious black revolutionary, from Dr. King, Malcolm X, Kwame Ture, Huey P. Newton, Assata Shakur, understood that the Palestinian situation is a very important question that it affects African people as well. Because let's be honest, Israel is a settler colony, just like the United States, just like Canada, just like New Zealand, just like Australia. So a settler colony, they've basically taken these people's land. They want to exterminate the indigenous people of this land, which are the Palestinians. And Israel doesn't stop at just attacking the Palestinians. I think I said this before. During apartheid, Israel was South Africa's most staunchest supporter. So they helped pay for South Africa's nuclear weapon program. When South Africa was trying to develop biological weapons that would kill only black people, it was Israeli scientists working with them. So Israel is a threat to all African people, period. So the enemy of my enemy, we can work together. And also too, when black people were being, during the George Floyd movement, the Palestinians were very supportive. They were the ones. I remember when I went out to a march, I got tear gassed. It's crazy, but there were Palestinians who were tweeting like, "Hey, this is how you make makeshift gas masks. You could use milk to deal with the tear gas." And they were actually supportive, which is more than I can say for most of our so-called allies in this world. Um, Israel uses the Palestinians as a laboratory for repression. So they perfect their techniques used to keep the Palestinians in place. They perfect them on those captive populations in Gaza and the West Bank, and they use them. I think he was Israeli, actually. I think he was Israeli. I don't know. But they use them against Americans. So many police forces get their training in Israel, because Israel works as a laboratory. They can perfect their techniques in Israel on the Palestinians. They can then go and try those techniques in Black people in America, in the Caribbean, in Africa. All of that stuff takes place. So to say that I'm not talking about Arabs, I'm talking about Palestinians. I want to be laser focused here, because I certainly know there's issues between Black and Arabs, and that those issues are real. But I want to be laser focused on the people who are currently enduring genocide, who have a bomb dropped every 6 minutes on their home. People where 50% of the population are children. I don't mean to say that I don't care about what Black people um, don't look very care about situations, because I don't think you'll find someone who's a serious Pan African who doesn't care about the Congo, doesn't care about Haiti. He doesn't care about what's going on for our people. But we can also understand that Zionism itself is a threat to every African person in the world, because, truth be told, Israel was not the first place they wanted to settle. When Zionism was first created, they were looking for a homeland in Uganda. They were looking for a homeland in Madagascar. They ended up settling on Palestine because of the historic roots they have. But these could have very well been African people who were going through what the Palestinians are going through. And what is happening to the Palestinians is they want that for every people who resist their oppression. They want to be able to cage us up, lock us up. So what we're seeing is that as conditions become worse, you're seeing more police officers, you're seeing more weapons, you're seeing more repression. The fate of the Palestinians could very well be the fate of all of us if we do not resist. So I'll leave it there, and I'll go ahead and let someone else speak. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Black Steel. Buana, what say you?
I hear what Black Steel had to say. You know, I don't think that Israel has the right to exist inside that area. I hear what he's saying in full in full representation of oppressed people, and I understand his position. And I respect that. But I have to look at the fight that's in front of me, and right a couple of like miles away from me, the Kenya is about to invade Haiti, and it's a proxy war via the Western countries. They sending Kenya in there as a proxy nation, outside of who really want to go inside that nation. So that's the that's what's on my plate right now. And I'm trying to listen to the voices that I can hear, out there who is able to translate what's going on in English form to say, well, what's the process going forward? What's the process going forward in terms of defense, of the country, what's about to be invaded? Because it's an it's a very volatile situation. You know what I mean? And it's right next door to me. It's right next door to me. And I just want to be able to assist and help. And even if my country decides to fight alongside, well, the fight decides to fight on the wrong side of history, I personally want to be on the right side of history. So I listening to the voices out there who I could probably hear that's making sense to say, well, Joni was on last week, and to try to bring clarity. I listen to her really sometimes from time to time. in terms of what's going on in the ground there or whatever. But I want to be directed and focused in terms of the battle in front of me. An invasion in that country, to invade that country is almost like to invade me, because they are my neighbors, they my brothers in the Caribbean. What affects them affects me as well. And I see myself as one with them. The Palestinian who fight. Sometimes when the Western world say that we have a war right now, so we need to, all of us need to focus on that. Some people gonna be distracted and focus on what the situation is for other people, but I focusing on the situation that affects people like me, people who look like me, my brothers. People gonna be directly affected from what's going on right now. So I'm listening to see how me personally, in my little small space, can assist in it as a defense against what's gonna come into that scenario and situation. You know, but I mean, I understand that from a global perspective, this is an international platform, and international discussions are gonna happen. But I have to focus on the issues that's in front of me, and Palestine could take a backseat to what is uh, effectively is going to happen in a matter of maybe like a couple of weeks. You know, Joe Biden them doing all manner of devilishment all over the world, and that's just on one front in Palestine. But in Haiti, they doing devilishment too. So I have to choose my battles carefully. But my battle, the battle I choose and the front I choose to fight is my brothers and sisters in Haiti, and how I could assist in the defense. My Razuli say barbecue was a piece of shit last week, so now I have to renegotiate how I looking at him. I listening to the Asian people and how they talk about certain people. I listening very carefully, you know, and I trying to siphon in terms of which voices where there's gonna be some proactivity and how I could assist and help on the actual ground and affect the affairs in the daily lives of the people in our country. But that's where I am with it. I'll stop there.
Appreciate that. Juana, Razuli, you heard everything everyone else had to say. You see the chat. What say you? Oh, but, and by the way, shout out to Forecast who's out there, Joe, and anyone else who came in. Yana B as well. Razuli, go ahead.
First, I'm going to say it's heartbreaking when children and women and men are dying on both sides. It's heartbreaking. But I say this: I'm Haitian. The Dominicans has been destroying the Haitians for years. I've never seen nobody except some of us, and I've never seen people beyond black people say anything about the situation first. Until they give back North Africa to the Africans, I'm staying out of everything. Until they, a lot of people don't know. A lot of the Middle Eastern people migrate to the Caribbean and take over under the cover of night. They start holding, and I'm using Haiti specifically. A lot of Middle Eastern people move to Haiti and they become and build their riches in Haiti. They team up with the freaking Dominicans and all of that. So who am I? Like, this is I understand the loss of life is not a good thing, especially children and women and men too. But I'm like the brother said on the show, never carry this Eileen. That's not my fight because nobody's there when Haiti's going through this stuff. Nobody's there trying to prevent stuff from the beginning. So to be honest, I'm just like the brother, and I'm just staying out of it, and because I don't really understand that whole area anyway. So who am I to go in and try to say this and that and the third while they stole the whole North Africa from African people? They stole Egypt from African people. until they are morally righteous and give back North Africa, I'm not putting my neck out for anything. But I'm gonna say that the loss of life is crazy. That they say we evolve. They say a lot of people believe in evolution, but it seems that all that smartness, all these therapy sessions, all of that, men still can't find a way to get along without the guns. So out of this, me, like the Buana just said, and y'all gonna hate me some more. When Kenya comes to Haiti, I'm cutting off Africa. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm and this is the funny thing. Me and Goku spoke about this. One of these African brothers from Kenya and Buana was laughing at it. Talk about, oh, if they come over, we down with Kenya. And this came. Maybe he knew something. Maybe he's connected with these people. Exactly what that brother said when we was on 10 show and somebody else's show is exactly what's happening right now. For Kenya to put themselves in a position to be a proxy. Not only did they team up with the US, they signed a deal with the Dominican Republic, who openly, not the people. I want to differentiate, because a lot of the people and Haitian people, they get along quietly, nicely on the border. But the government, to do that, why didn't you step in yourself and say, something terrible is about to happen. And I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody say on this chat or not. I'm not rocking with the Africans like that. So I have my own stuff to worry about, but not me personally, but other people I have to worry about. I don't have to, like, there's a brother that got on there, the basketball player. I forgot his name. Bro, you was not even saying that about Chicago, the crime rate in Chicago. You didn't go into the city of Chicago. Yeah, you didn't go to the city of Chicago to help them out. You didn't go to Louisiana. I didn't see Stoudemire raise money for Flint, Michigan.
I believe Stoudemire's a Zionist, so I mean he's a Zionist. He doesn't support the Palestinians either. He's a Zionist.
I mean, I don't even know what that means, but what I'm just saying is this. What is Floyd? All of these people, I'm shocked. And I'm not saying for you not to it's the loss of life is you could never recreate life. Facts. But you don't tell me you calling out BLM, and BLM is another control opposition, whatever, and he's chastising black people because black people want to understand the dynamic of what's going on over there. A lot of black people don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand the issue of the Middle East. A lot of people, but for you to chastise black people, meanwhile, Flint, Michigan, no water, Louisiana, the Geechee people are losing their territories. Me, I'm just gonna stay out of it, and I'm really, it saddens me that people's lives, like how we have evolved, and war is still the answer. Like, that's crazy to me. They want to say we are the savages, but it seems that the people who are the leaders of the world, they still can't talk to each other without using guns and stuff like that. Me, I'm gonna stick to the problem that I deal with on the day-to-day basis. Waking up and going to work, this and that, trying to not to get killed in this street. And I'm looking at Haiti. I'm looking at the way the Kenya, like, bro, the genocides that's been going on in where were these people during the genocide that was going on in Africa? So I don't see them people giving back North Africa, Morocco. You genocided the natives that used to live up there. You don't belong there. So who am I to be like, because somebody you attack somebody that got bigger guns than you, and that bigger gun is retired. Now you want us? I don't know. I don't understand the issue. So me, I'm gonna stay out of it. So, but it pains me that a lot of our people who don't even understand the issue are attacking black people for black people trying to make educated, what is it? Analyzing the situation before they make the. That is crazy. That's what I'm going to say about that.
I appreciate that conversation.
All right, so
Also
let me respond. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coco. I was going to respond to Pazuli.
you'll get a chance in 1 second.
Okay.
Also want to shout out the chat. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Sister Raw is out there. Forecast is out there. Trigger Happy 262 Plus said also the reason why I think there's a problem with this conversation is that power doesn't come before morality for people. Power sometimes means making gains with enemies. So that's something. If you have any last thoughts after Black Seal goes, speak to that comment that I'll leave up on the screen. Black Seal, you have the floor.
So, Julie, let me try to make this as succinct as I possibly can. What's going on in Palestine, Israel, is a prime example of colonization, white supremacy, settler colonialism. So, after the Zionism was a political movement that was created among Jewish people in the late 1900s by Theodor Herzl, an atheist, who believed that Jewish people needed a nation of their own. That's why they're persecuted, because they don't have a state. So the Zionist is a racist ideology because they want Israel to be a nation for Jewish people alone. No other people can hold citizenship in Israel. The right to self-determination in the state of Israel belongs to the Jewish people alone. So, long story short, after the Holocaust, Great Britain had the mandate for Palestine. They divided the country, 51% for the Jews, 49% to the Palestinians, to the Arabs who were staying there. And ever since then, the Jewish state has taken more and more and more land from the Palestinian people. They pushed them into tighter and tighter confines. They've murdered them. They have used weapons like white phosphorus, which burns your skin, which is basically a weapon that's supposed to be banned, which you know how international law works. Nobody gives a fuck about international law. So, and again, Israel's racism doesn't just end at the Palestinian people. They are, as we speak right now, Ethiopian Jews, the women that come into Israel, are sterilized because they don't want Black Jews in the country. So when you say I'm focusing on just our issues, understand that all the Palestinian struggle, the Haitian struggle, these are all outgrowths of white supremacy, settler colonialism, and racism. So the issues are linked. Okay. So there's not like I'm just gonna focus on me, because these issues will affect you as well. So what Israel wants is to expand into not just the Middle East, but to Africa as well. Again, like I was saying before, it was Israel that financed South Africa's nuclear weapons. It was Israel that financed South Africa's biological weapons program. It's the Mossad and everything else that's attacking these people. So I can understand, but we can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. I have nothing but support and love for the Haitian people, and I support their struggles in any way possible. But I can also understand how the Palestinian struggle is also linked, because these crackers aren't just gonna focus on just Israel if they get done with Palestinians. They're not just gonna focus on them. The United States oppresses both Haiti and the Palestinians, because when they fight back against their genocide, which they have every right to do, because they are under a state of genocide, they fight back whatever means possible. And if we read Fanon, we understand how violence is a cleansing force to the oppressed, because it evens the score. Why is it that only my people have to bleed? If I can't sleep good at night, you can't sleep good at night. So, but these systems are all linked. The U.S. oppresses Haiti economically. They get Kenya to play proxy, but at the same time, they're also sending warships to support Israel in their genocide. So it's all different tentacles of the same beast. So to me, I have no choice but to stand with the Palestinians, because the Palestinians are under genocide. But at the same time, I stand with the Haitian people as well. I stand with the people in Africa and the Congo as well. Because these are my brothers and my sisters. But I also understand that even though there have been issues with Arabs in North Africa, the Palestinians have always been supportive of Black people's struggle. Even when South African apartheid, with police violence in the United States, they have always expressed support. And that's so funny that Dr. Umar is unaware of the support that they've expressed, the Palestinians have had for the Black struggle in the United States and across the globe. Like, how could you not know that, Mr. Prince of Pan-Africanism? You should be able to know that. You should understand why Kwame Ture, Huey P. Newton, every Black revolutionary worth a damn understood that the Palestinian struggle and the Pan-African struggle is linked. Okay, so to me, that's another reason. I call him Dr. Fubar, fucked up beyond all recognition. He's still pushing the date for the school bag. I guess we'll get it in the year 2033 sometime, I guess, whatever. But that's besides the point. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that what's going on in Palestine affects all of us. This racist Zionist settler colony cannot be allowed to exterminate these people. And we cannot allow, but we have to. I don't want it to be where Black people are focusing on another people's struggle while ignoring our own. I think it's possible to be multifaceted in this world. So I'm sorry. I'll leave it there before I pass out, guys. I'll let it go.
Does Buono want to add anything, and then I'll let Uzuli respond to both of them.
Absolutely. I understand Black Steel's perspective, and it's a humanitarian argument, and I don't argue against that, But this multitasking for me never really. When people they use this term multitasking, is the idea of trying to get a lot of things done, but not really getting anything done. You know what I mean? Maybe we said as a Black community, we say we could walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe that to be. That's a good saying, but I don't believe that to be true. I believe that some things we need to focus on one by one down the line. Because when you spread yourself too thin, you don't really get anything done, and everything becomes slogan. Most of our people, if we being honest, we live. There's a high concentration of our people in South Florida and in Boston and in the Haitian people and in New York City. And we live around these communities, been living around these communities forever. You know what I mean? Now, the Palestinian people, yes, they have a struggle, and the struggle should be respected and represented. No one should be genocided. But I am focused, I think that we should focus on the battle before us and not spread ourselves so thin. And the battle that's before us right now is correcting. My battle. Let me speak for me. My battle is what is affecting me directly right now. I don't want to see another Caribbean country invaded, even if it's by proxy. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that happen. Haiti has endured enough, and they need the assistance of other Black people who can assist in whatever way possible. There's no way that we can have Black billionaires on the shores just 100, just 50 miles outside of one of the so-called most poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere, and there's no help and assistance coming at all. And because we don't see any kind of connection that's going on. You have the wealthiest people, Black people on the face of this planet, just 50 miles off of the coast of the most so-called poorest people on the face of this planet. And we believe that there shouldn't be no kind of continuity that's happening in between one another, so we could just balance the scales. And the fight now extending all the way across the world to the Middle East. I just think that the battle should be that's before us, and that's immediate, is to be the people who is most needed in the situation and scenario. And all of us know the story in the Western world of the story of Haiti. And these people are the vanguard of our experience in the Western world. And I just don't want us to move past that and go all the way to Palestine when the immediate need is with our brothers and sisters who have shown to the world our brilliance and excellence. and resiliency in this part of the world. And I think that's the thing. And it's not to say we should jump over even African Americans or even wealthy Bahamians. I'm just saying that this is our internal fight right now. And these people are trying to send more onslaught into the country that has shown the world what we are. You know what I mean? And I think that this is where our fight is, not necessarily in Palestine. I respect the Palestinian fight, but I feel like we can't spread ourselves so thin. And I feel like we should look at the battle before us. You know what I mean? But that's just me. That's just my opinion, and I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I'm glad how you answered that though, because it kind of answers what Trigger Happy and some of them were saying in the chat about power. We don't have the power yet, so I think a lot of us will focus on the immediate thing, the geopolitical thing. We're not really quite there yet. Uh, Not to say that we're far removed, but we don't have those ideologies set up yet to really engage in that in the right way. I think we do have to kind of worry about the things that are right in front of us for now. Razuli, you get the last word.
Like I said, give back North Africa, then I'll think about it. Until then, I have other stuff. We have other stuff to worry about. It's like I don't, I don't even understand when people say the enemy of enemies is my friend. I don't even understand that. For 2,000 years and then some, history said the Arab slavery was one of the worst thing ever that happened to African people. Again, I should not even get involved because what Kenya's about to do and Haiti to me is another thing. So, like I said again, it's sad that life is going to be lost, and there's war everywhere on the earth. And I'm thinking that we as a race, not as a race, as a species, should have evolved to like, yo, why are we still have the same mentality that we had 100 years ago, 200 years ago? So the hunter's mindset, you gotta conquer all of this that comes with it's everything you've been taught, evolution, all these things, or you have to get yours before I get mine. This is what's staining the human race. All those what the fuck, what was his name? Uh Darwin, all these things, bro, are embedded into the thinking of people now. Like survival of the fittest, this and that and the third. Like you cannot want to change the world and you still idolize those people as your litmus test to where civilization begins or civil evolution. If you believe in evolution and you're against this, bro, you shouldn't be. It's all about survival of the fittest. So maybe that might sound weird. I don't know where I was going with that, but at the end of the day, hey, I'm staying out of it, man. And as a person, if you want to, I'm not saying not to defend this and that and the third. But I'm saying as a Haitian person, give back North Africa. Stop immigrating to the Caribbean and stealing people's land because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of Middle Eastern people move to the Caribbean. And I'm gonna say that especially in Haiti, like when you see a lot of those mulatto kids that in Haiti, like the T-Vice, their parents are from the Middle East. They come in, they build their wealth. They think they're better than the Negroes of the island. So, hey, to each his own. But I'm gonna stay out until I understand more. Boy, I understood what Black Steel said. I hear him, but I'm still minding my business and drinking water.
I don't think we could excuse me. I don't. How can you stay out of genocide? Like, how can you stay out of a situation where people are just like, okay, when I see what's going on
Black
with the
Steel.
Haitian people,
Black
right?
Steel. Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When I see what's going on with the Haitian, I live in America, but when I see what's going on with the Haitian people, I'm not, well, they Haitian, I'm staying out of it. When I understand the same people that are killing y'all are the same people that would kill me, are the same system, the same government that would kill me or my child. It's the same people that's dropping bombs on Palestinian children. The point I'm trying to make is that the struggles are linked. When you try to separate them, because here's the thing, our enemy, the oppressor, they work together. Israel supports, the US supports Israel, sends them billions of dollars. Our taxpayer money, my money that I pay in taxes, is going to kill children overseas. It's going to oppress Haitians that keep them poor and destitute and smuggling weapons into the country. So my thing is that it's all linked. We have to look at the big picture. I think we're not seeing the big picture.
Like still, I think what you see, this is what you see when we come to America, we meet different people from different backgrounds. We meet Palestinian people who some of them will stand with you. We meet some Jewish people, some of them will stand with you. But at the end of the day, the majority of them don't. So when we look at the situation, like I didn't see any country from the Arab nation or from anybody openly said what the Dominicans are doing to the Haitians is terrible. I didn't see, and people are going to say, yeah, they did it. The same way you could be vocal, go in front of your news station and put it out there and say what the Dominicans are doing to the Haitians is terrible. I didn't see none of them do that. And like I said, they don't have to stand up with me. They can see me getting killed in the street. They're not my race. I'm a black man. I get it. But don't tell me when you are fighting with somebody now that I have to stand up for you. Because if you cared about humanity, you would have stood up for me and be like, you know what? This is not right. Y'all can't do this to these people. Or you know, right? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And what was the thing during the Chechnya? What's going on over here is not right. What's going on over here is not right. So you can't say all of a sudden because you're in a pickle, and I've been on a pickle for the last 100 years, trying to get. They murder Haitian and socially. They murder Haitians politically. They murder Haitian economically, and they murder us throughout the media. And now you want me to be like, oh, to go defend? Oh, to go? No, I'm not doing that.
So I
I'm sorry.
I cannot speak to every Arab nation, but I will say the Palestinian people have always been supportive of the African struggle for at least 50 years. I'm not speaking to every Arab. I'm talking about Egypt, but I will say that the Palestinians have always been supportive of our struggle. They understand that our struggle is linked. And yes, the Haitians, trigger happy, are my people as well. And when I see them under attack, I support them, whatever means they need to defend themselves. So I support the Haitians. I'm not supporting them Arabs in North Africa. But when I see the Palestinians are under genocidal attack and they're fighting back against that, I support that too. I guess I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, but I guess I just want us to understand that this issue is a large issue. I don't want to take the focus off anybody's struggle. And what the Haitians are experiencing is it's been genocide for 200 since 1804. So I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, but I also understand that these issues are linked. And like I said, I can't look at genocide either with African people or with Palestinian people and be like, oh well, they'll figure it out. We gotta support our people in Haiti and those who have supported us and expressed solidarity for our movements in the Middle East. I'll leave it there because I'm about to pass out.
So
I don't
if you
I don't
will,
understand. I don't understand why is it that the Saudi Arabians, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, Saudi Arabia, who are Muslims, don't invite the Palestinians to come to their country and absorb them. I mean, well, the Palestinians don't want to give up their land. I know it's a fight, but I'm saying to myself, shouldn't the Muslim, the Ummah, the Ummah, come in and say, well, listen, we gonna fund you all, we gonna protect you all. Here's is what it is. Why? Oh man, the conversation I feel is a very diverse conversation. You know,
Can I
very
can
bad.
I can speak to that if you want me to,
Go
Bwana.
ahead, brother. Go ahead.
So, and it's so interesting you use the word Ummah. I was, my class, we just got finished through talking about Islam in school, my class. So the Muslim nations, especially Saudi Arabia, they're fully in bed with Israel and the United States because a lot of that surveillance technology that Israel has developed to spy on the Palestinians, to troll the Palestinians, they want that technology also. So many Muslim countries are afraid to step in because of that collusion with the West. Saudi Arabia is really bad for that. Excuse me. Saudi Arabia is really bad for that. Same thing with Jordan, Egypt. So that's one thing, that these Arab governments are corrupt and they're willing to look the other way for some money and whatnot. It is a complicated issue with as far as offering support. But like you said, the Palestinians know if they leave, they won't be allowed back in. So that would basically complete the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, which is what the Zionist state of Israel wants to accomplish. How we know how religion and can get conflated, but the Palestinians aren't all Muslims. There's Christian Palestinians as well who are coming under the same attack as their Muslim family members. So just remember that too, is that these Arab countries get their dollars from the U.S. and Israel. And another thing I want to mention, I'll make this quick. Israel really has the world by the balls. And I say that because Israel has a nuclear option they call the Samson Plan, to where if they get invaded and if the existence of Israel as a state is threatened, they will launch their entire nuclear arsenal against the world. So, and I say the Samson Plan because we all know in the Bible, after they blinded Samson, took him to the temple of Philistines, he just knocked the whole thing over and took as many Philistines with him as he could. So Israel, again, like I said, Zionism is a threat to the whole world, because if they feel as if their existence as a nation becomes threatened, they have over 400 nuclear weapons. We could be looking at a nuclear winter. This is a genocidal, homicidal nation with nuclear weapons, which is something we all need to be concerned about.
With the time that we have left, I'm gonna go to shoot the breeze topic number 4. I'll understand if we have to cut the conversation short on it, but we do have about 20, a little less than 20 minutes. Shoot the breeze topic number 4 says,